Well, good morning to everybody. Good morning. It's wonderful to be in Osceola County. And especially to be hosted here at Nacion de Fe. I want to thank Raphael and Clarabelle. Thank you for hosting us. And you all please take a seat. We've got a nice program here today. We are joined by a lot of folks today. We have the President of the Florida Senate with us today, Wilton Simpson, the Speaker of the Florida House, Chris Sprowls, the Secretary for the Agency of Healthcare Administration, Simone Marstiller. We have Senator Kelly Stargel, Representative Aaron Grawl, Representatives Persons Malika, Tomko, and Burton, Senators Bradley and Mayfield, and then Representatives Bell, Toledo, Trabulsi, Tuck, Federhoff, Byrd, Beltran, Barnaby, Harding, and then Senators Baxley and Burgess. So I want to thank all of you. We are also joined by pro-life advocates Heather Barwick, Terry Kellogg, Hope Kellogg, and Kelly Terrian. So I want to thank them, and you're going to hear from them when we get onto this. We are here today to protect life. We are here today to defend those who can't defend themselves. And in just a minute, I will be signing House Bill 5, which protects the rights of unborn children starting at 15 weeks. This is a time where these babies have beating hearts. They can move, they can taste, they can see, they can feel pain, they can suck their thumbs, and they have brain waves. And so this will represent the most significant protections for life that have been enacted in this state in a generation. And if you look what's going on in certain segments of our society, particularly amongst people who are affiliated with the far left of our political spectrum, of course, that's overrepresented in places like Hollywood, in the media, and obviously in one of our major political parties. But they are now taking the position that babies can be aborted up to the 9th month. Literally, you can go back for you parents, and those are some of the most significant experiences of my life, to hold your child for the very first time. What they would say is, parent holding that child, if you just go back a day or two, then you would have been able to snuff the child out entirely. That is just fundamentally wrong. That is infanticide, and that has no place. And you see how that type of mindset has led to things that really shock the conscience in our society. We just saw this terrible scandal in Washington, D.C. Where is Mary Margaret here from the Daily Wire? There's Mary Margaret. She did this great expose. They found all these remains of babies, and they found 5 who were basically infants, premature they would have been, but they would have been able to survive, outside the womb. And yet Washington, D.C. Is treating that just like we would treat the trash from our lunch or something like that. It's really horrifying to see that could go on in our country, but particularly in our nation's capital. And so that is callous, that is wrong, and I want to thank her and Daily Wire for exposing this. And so what we're doing today is saying that we will not let that happen in the state of Florida. As I said, the bill today will provide protections for unborn children from abortion when the child reaches 15 weeks of gestational age. Of course, these are babies that have heartbeats and that can feel pain and can move, as we said. The bill also expands fetal infant mortality review committees across the state, which engage medical professionals and communities to review infant mortality cases and recommends reduction efforts tailored to their communities. Nearly half of Florida's counties are currently not represented within a review committee, and data shows that mortality rates are higher in these areas. So this bill appropriates funds for up to 11 more of these fetal infant mortality review committees to cover the entire state. HB 5 also requires hospitals with labor and delivery services to participate in Florida prenatal quality collaborative initiatives, which range from opioid recovery programs to reducing cesarean overuse in deliveries. This requirement will move Florida to a statewide standard for quality birthing services and evidence-based interventions around issues like opioid abuse that cause higher rates of infant mortality. So we are viewing this in terms of protecting life as something that we see through. Really, if you look at what we've done this week, we're promoting fatherhood in Florida. We want our kids to have dads in the home. We want the fathers present. Take responsibility. It's the most important thing you can do is to take responsibility for the upbringing of your kids. And if you look, then probably one of the worst social trends we have. You go back to like the mid-1950s, you didn't have very many broken families. Now it's increased dramatically, and it is in every racial or ethnic group. You know, there's some more acute than others, but it is increased across the board. So this is a society-wide problem. And, you know, I think back to prior to us having kids, my wife and I, and when we were married, you know, we had a lot of fun. You know, when you don't have kids, you can just kind of do what you want. You want to go to dinner? Just do it. You want to get in the car, go somewhere on the weekend? Do it. Fly, whatever you want, you can probably figure out a way to do it without necessarily. Well, when you have the kids, man, that changes things because now you have responsibilities. And it's not easy. There's a lot of challenges with being a parent. But I can tell you that responsibility is something that I would not trade for the world. We have 3, 5, and under, and when we signed the fatherhood bill on Monday, which was really great work by Speaker Sprowls leading the effort, we I had my 5-year-old Matt. She's an old pro at this. She's come to a lot of stuff with me. But my 2-year-old Mamie, it was her debut of being able to go to work with Daddy, and so she did. So we have 3, and people will tell me, like, oh man, I see you all around the state, you're working hard, you gotta go home and get some rest. And I just wanna let people know, when I'm at home, I am not resting. It's just the way it is. But what you do by being present, particularly, these dads who really need to be in their kids' life, you are providing that role model for these kids to be able to grow up and lead meaningful lives. And the statistics are overwhelming. When kids grow up without a dad in the home, the chances of them dropping out of school, getting in trouble with the law, drugs, you name it, that increases dramatically. And so we're really proud to be leading on fatherhood and to promote it. We're going to work with some great nonprofit groups to be able to do that. We also were able to sign this week a bill with probably, as Senator Simpson, correct me if I'm wrong, probably the strongest expansion of support for adoption and foster care in the modern history of the state. We believe that that everybody counts. And we want to be able to have everybody have an opportunity to realize their dreams, to make the most of their God-given potential. And sometimes you need to have some folks that will step up and help with that. And so we're now increasing incentives for family members and close friends to adopt. We're providing financial incentives. We're providing more opportunities for kids that come through our foster system to have tuition and fee waivers to go on to some of our state colleges and universities. And so we're excited about doing that. And we believe that that all these kids deserve an opportunity. And so we're not just giving lip service to that. We're actually signing legislation, and we're putting money behind these ideas. And so I think it's been a really exciting week. And then, of course, to be able to sign the bill here today is really, really meaningful. I mean, I think that just for all you parents out there, particularly parents that are relatively more recent, you know, when I was born, they didn't necessarily have all the stuff where you can see and chart the progress as the baby develops, you know, in the mother's womb. But this is really meaningful, and I want to thank all the legislators who had so much to do with this. It's a statement of our values that every life is important. So we're going to hear from some folks involved in crafting the legislation, also from some of our pro-life advocates. And so I want to first bring up our Senate President, Wilton Simpson. All right, well, now I'm going to go over to the chair here, and we're going to... Today is the 14th? 14.